Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Sanderlanche podcast. I am Data, and with me today is
Dac.
Just Dac. Yep,
And
we
that's
had
it.
Joe has food poisoning or something, and then there is a small sick child that Jaymee is taking care of. So we are only two of us today, and we could do the chapters with just two of us, but I feel like we lose a lot of good discussion if we go down to just two.
Yeah, it's not really fair to the other guys if we just... Our rule on this show has always been if one of us misses it, that's okay, but if two of us, no, not really.
Yeah. And so we also, however, since we just did 2 weeks where we had to miss stuff for sickness and other things, didn't want to have absolutely nothing to put out for you guys. So Dac and I got together last minute to make up an emergency plan to do something that we thought would be at least a little bit fun for you guys to listen to. So hang on, everybody. The Sanderlanche is about to begin.
Well, I boot you up and my imagination's running wild. Haven't felt this way since I was building Lego as a child. Got my workbench good to go, my sticks and planks are all stockpiled. And I feel good 'cause I've been mining all day long.
So yeah, we're going to do today a little game, and I've kind of stolen some of this idea from the guys over at Following Noadon. They did a quote game that I thought was really cool, and I've been looking for a time that we can do it with our crew. So what Dac and I are going to do today is kind of a dry run for that. There won't be any keeping score. There won't be any competition because I found quotes. Dac's going to try to identify who said them and what book they're from books that we've read. But if I can make it work, then maybe on a future one we'll get somebody in and we'll have a competition between everyone to see who can do the best job at recognizing these sort of things.
This is very much a doing it live thing.
Yep, this is our quick and dirty. We put this together in the last 20 minutes, and hopefully it'll be fun for everybody.
It was, we jumped on the call. All right, what should we do? I don't know, but we should do something, right?
Yep. So, I have found quotes. There is everything that we have read on the show is a potential source, but I haven't found from literally everything. So, and there's not more than one quote from each thing that we've read. So that'll make it as we go easier because Dac can start eliminating things that he knows it's not from.
I should keep a list. Hang on.
You can just like grab your books and like put them away as they get.
No, just like have a little list on my computer, just going. All right, so we've done that one. We've done that one. It's like cross it off. Let's go.
Yep.
The novels, and they got the short stories, which the names of which some of them are escaping me. And I can't look over at the shelf and see the titles because they're all in Arcanum.
Oh, that's true. The short stories are all like in the same thing. I hadn't thought of that.
To the contents page. So of all the books we've read, Elantris and Shadows of Self are the only ones that don't start with the.
Interesting. Who knew?
Just weird little things that I notice sometimes. I've actually really gotten under Jaymee's skin a bit with the Little Mermaid of all things, because we watch that about 1 billion times a day because our daughter loves it.
Sure.
Fair enough. Like, as far as Disney movies, it's one of the really good ones.
You could have done worse. Yeah, the boys had a phase where they wanted to watch The Emperor's New Groove over and over again, which not as good as The Little Mermaid. So.
Yeah, it's like not bad, but not quite top tier. But the thing about Little Mermaid is like right at the start, you got all the sisters introducing themselves in the music, and I've just sort of gone, huh. Ariel is the only one whose name doesn't end with an A.
Yep. And
ever since I said that, Jamie's like, shit, I can't unsee that now. Why is she different? Because she's the main character?
Yes, exactly. It's main character syndrome. Yeah, I noticed that. I never noticed it before until the last time that I watched that too. I'm like, all of their names, they all begin with A and end with A. Yeah. And Ariel's begins with A but does not end with A.
Doesn't end with it. Also watch the sequels and, oh, man.
It's been forever since I've watched the second one, and I don't know that I've ever seen the third one.
I wouldn't bother. Fucking watching the third one, and it's like, animation's not bad for a direct-to-video sequel, but then it came out in 2008, so I guess they were just better at it by then.
Yeah.
But watching it, I was just like, hang on a minute, who's playing the villain? And I looked it up, and I was like, okay, the second sequel to a movie that came out nearly 30 years beforehand, a direct-to-video sequel, is not where you expect to find Oscar winner Sally Field.
Huh. No, okay. Somebody's like, hey, you want to do a Disney movie? She's like, yeah, sure.
But it's the bargain bin one. It's like, Man, did she have some plumbing that needed fixing or something?
Right? As Sally Field as Marina Del Rey. Okay.
It's like there was a bill she needed paid, and so she took a quick and easy gig, I think.
Oh gosh, that's it. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll have to watch that at some point. Does it? I feel like when I was a kid, I used to watch the Little Mermaid TV show, and I was like, does this movie like tie in with the TV show,
Oh
which
my
also
God,
takes
yeah.
place before?
I've watched some of that, and like I don't know if it does or not. Honestly, like I could not tell you most of the things about either really anymore, because I'm just like, this is just, yeah, I'm done.
It was originally planned to make Ariel more contemporary during the development of this prequel. However, Jodie Benson fought to have Ariel retain her characteristic rebelliousness. I don't know what contemporary means in that context.
Oh God, I don't want to know.
Okay. Sorry, that was a whole thing. Did you actually get
time
to?
while I write down the short story titles?
Did you actually get to the point of your story? You're like, we've been watching. Oh yes, it was they all ended in A, and now Jaymee can't unsee it. Okay, I just wanted to make sure that I didn't cut you off before you actually got to the point of your story.
All good.
Okay. Here we go. Oh, apparently, so their mom's name is Queen Athena, that also begins and ends with an
A. Yeah.
Okay. Huh. Why did she name Ariel? Weird. Reportedly, the Queen Athena will be in the 2023 live action version.
Oh, I can't wait for that. Mostly because I just want to see how they try and make the crab look adorable. Because like a close up of a crab, they are fucking ugly.
Yeah, well, that's true of a lot of fish, to be honest, or a lot of sea creatures, I should say. But yeah,
true. I feel like fish are probably going to be easier, like flounder. But yeah, no, I feel like Sebastian. Ooh, they're gonna have to work hard on that one.
I'm very curious to see how it goes.
Yeah.
I know people are all already upset about casting and stuff, but I'm curious. I'm curious how it's going to go. Okay. I'm going to start off with a couple easy ones for you to get into the groove here.
Okay.
The first one is what Dac has to say is who said the quote and what book it was. So very, very simple, straightforward. Should be fine.
Yeah, it's like would you say the guys you originally called this off asked for what chapter? I'm like, man, I got no fucking hope of that.
Yep, they on following Know It On podcast, they did like who said it, who it was said to, what book and what chapter, and I'm just like, I think they got a point if they got closest to the chapter of everyone guessing, but I'm just
right.
Nah. So okay, and maybe I will give you some points. We'll do like a point for the quote, or for who says it, a point for what book, so you can
sure. And
feel like you have won.
If I can recall the context, I will mention it as well. But yeah.
Okay, first one, very easy. Everyone shut up and listen, or I will barf on the table to get your attention.
Oh, that was Steris in the Lost Metal. We just read that one like a couple weeks ago.
Yep, I was wondering if I should do the Lost Metal, but then I was like, oh, that's such a fun quote. You got to do that.
Yeah, like great moment from Steris there, really.
It's not only a great moment of Steris standing up for herself, but it's a great callback to the previous book. It's doing all sorts of work. That quote.
It's one of those, like, it's funny for us because we remember the situation. It's like, oh yeah, wasn't that funny? Everyone else in the room is just like, what the fuck are you talking about?
maybe Tensoon heard about it from Meilon, but yes, every other person in the room is like, wait, what?
Oh, could you imagine just like if she vomits on the table? It's like, now that I have your attention, Tensoon's like, hey, I need their attention more, and vomits a ribcage out.
He could probably do some work if he wanted to get attention. That's a good point.
And the governor's just like, this is unclean, unsanitary.
Okay, so good job. 2 points for that one. Well done, sir. Starting off high.
Like the sound effect of like the grunt birthday party from Halo in the background. It's like,
oh, that'd be great, actually. I'm gonna go look for that now.
Yeah.
Okay, this next one is going to be, I don't know. We'll see. Hard or difficult, it all depends. The quote is sigh.
Sigh. Oh, you know what? I feel like the only time that actually came up written like that as a quote, that's got to be footnotes in Alamancer Jack from Hand to Him.
There you go. Perfect.
Yes! Nailed it.
You're on a roll.
2 more points. It is so unique, but at the same time, it's one word. So I was like, I don't know if I'll remember it.
Well, it's like I feel like a lot of characters have sighed in this, especially Breeze.
Yep.
At points. probably Wax has as well while dealing with Wayne.
I'm sure everyone has sighed while dealing with Wayne
Everyone's
at
probably
some point.
Yeah, okay, but all right, cool. All right, hand to him, Kiff. Let's go.
Yep. Okay. Let's move into. Okay. The quote is, "There were books involved."
Books involved. Oh. Okay. All right, that makes me think it's related to Elland. Whether or not he's the one who said it, I don't know. And I've got no fucking idea what book that came from. I feel like not The Final Empire. All right, you know what? Fuck it. Let's stab in the dark. Let's go. Ellen's making some excuse to Vin from Well of Ascension.
It is Elland, and it is from Well of Ascension.
Oh,
so well done.
Yes.
That.
If you were any better, you'd be me.
The scene is Elland walks into the room and says, "I'm sorry, I'm late. I kind of lost track of time." And Breeze says, "For 2 hours?" And Elland says, "There were books involved."
Okay, right.
So nicely done, sir. You're 6 for 6 so far.
Awesome. Oh man, I had nothing for that one. That was a total take and a punt.
Okay. Let's see. Here we go. Why did they call it research if I've only done it this one time?
Research if I only done this one time. That sounds like a Wayne thing to say.
I can see how you would think that, yeah. That's kind of Wayne-y.
Yeah. Okay. They call it research. So read it off again.
Why do they call it research if I've only done it this one time?
Okay, there's no like Cockney slang in that, so it could be Wayne, it could be someone else. Yeah, I'm feeling strong about this. Let's go Wayne and let's go Bands of Mourning.
Lost the lead.
1 of 2 on that one. It was Wayne. It is from Alloy of Law when he's come back to Wax, I think at the wedding dinner, and he's like, "Hey, I did some research on these guys like you told me to."
Right, okay. Yeah, I was thinking it's like, oh, could be Bands of Mourning, could be Alloy of Law. Let's go with Bands. Those again, just a bit of a stab there, and like, all right, that one didn't pay off, all right, but yep, cool. So yeah, as soon as I heard the quote,
still half points on that one, so not bad.
Yeah, I was like, it definitely sounds like a Wayne line, so I was on the money there.
You got that right off the bat. Like that sounds like Wayne.
Okay.
Okay. Here we go. Love is always a foolish emotion. That's what makes it work.
It's a foolish emotion. That's what makes it work. Shit. My initial gut instinct was saying that sounds like a Vin thing to say.
After Vin has developed a little bit, maybe. Sure.
Well, I was thinking it could be a Vin thing to say in Hero of Ages, maybe. But like the more I think about it, I'm just like, well, that could be a Raiden thing from Elantris, or hell, that could be something. That
sounds.
Could be something out of the Hope of Elantris. Like there's actually quite a few candidates for that one. Shit, or it could have even been a Seist thing. Fuck.
Yeah, I mean it's like an optimistic sounding thing, and so you're nailing like Raoden, Seist, the characters who are often like optimistic.
Yeah, and like Vin's wasn't normally optimistic, but she, like, if there was one thing she believed in, it was like, especially towards the end there, it's like her and Ellen's love for each other was definitely proving a foundation to build on. So
yeah, by the end of book 2 and then through book 3, I agree. It was she definitely believed in that.
Yeah, she wouldn't. That's not something she would say in Final Empire, hands down. But
no,
Hero of Ages, she could have.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? Let's. I've learned in the past that usually your first gut reaction is probably a solid one, so I'm going to go with that. Let's say Vin, Hero of Ages.
Okay.
No, sir.
You got no points on that one.
Damn.
So that was
God,
Marasai.
You have failed me.
A little insult to injury.
In Bands of Mourning, where she's talking to Steris, and Steris is talking about Wax, and Marasai's like, "Oh my, you really do love him, don't you?" And Steris goes, "Well, I mean, and she's like, "Come on, okay, yes, I love him. It's foolish, isn't it?" And Marasai says, "Love is always foolish."
Okay. Yep. Again, Marasai, one like a more optimistic, and characters, but. Oh, man. Like, considering how much I've really enjoyed Era 2, like, I haven't really focused on the characters as much as I really should have, even though there are some great characters in it. Because I think of all the predicaments I've made for Bands and for Lost Metal, and they always seem to focus on, like, Era 1 characters or just, like, the greater Cosmere as a whole. I was like, I really just need to just look at who we've got, because Marasai, Wax, Steris, they're all great characters. So
Yeah, and I feel like Era 2 is very character driven as opposed like Era 1, the story, like there was this big story that was kind of pushing itself forward with like the giant evil gods and stuff.
yeah,
And the characters are along for the ride to some extent, but I think Era 2 is kind of the other way around.
Yeah, Era 1 was definitely like your classic fantasy, like this is the way of the world and the heroes have to rise up to conquer it. So it is like the heroes are the ones who conclude the plot, but they're not the ones who start it. Whereas Era 2, it's very much like the characters being characters is what makes the plot happen to start with, really.
Which and I think he's gotten better at this point at writing like interesting, like deep characters.
Yeah, true.
Not to say that I have a problem with The Final Empire is one of my favorite books of all time, and I love the characters in it. But the secondary characters especially don't get all that much depth, and I feel like they do more here.
Yep, definitely agree with that.
Like Constable Reddy, even we were just talking about how like this is a guy that we've watched develop and change and stuff, which a character like him would not have gotten that much attention in an earlier book.
Yeah. Because I'm just thinking back and thinking like I can't remember his name. What was the dude who he was on guard in? Like, he was guarding the palace in the Final Empire, and then he just showed up periodically throughout the trilogy, and then Marsh killed him at the end of Hero of Ages.
Right. Yeah, that's Gorodel.
Started with a G. Gorodel, yeah. I knew it started with a G. But characters like that, I'm just like, he had a pretty decent part to play there, like in one of those background roles, and like you learn nothing about him.
Yeah.
And the only things you learn about him is because he says it, not because you see it.
Right. And and Constable General Aradel from the Era 2 books is like his descendant, we found out. So
that's right. Yeah.
He does live on a little bit.
Yeah. And yeah, just thinking back, it's like as much as we love Ham didn't really get a lot of development at the end. Like the conclusion of his arc was to give a definitive answer on something, which was a fine gag, but that was really the sum of his character.
Yeah. And even when we found out he had a family, we didn't see very much about it. I think there's
I don't think we ever met them.
No, I don't know that we did. There's one bit in, I don't remember if it was Well of Ascension or Hero of Ages, where in the annotations, Brandon is like, I kind of forgot that Ham had a family for most of this book.
Yeah. You know what, that is something that is different about, I mean, really since Elantris onward, we haven't had the annotations. Like, honestly, I'd sort of forgotten. That was a big part of when we were reading through Era 1. It was like, we had annotations for everything, and now we've pretty much progressed beyond that. I'm just like, it's kind of fun, I guess, like not having to have having come back and spell things out while we're reading them, I guess. But at the same time, I do sort of miss, like, there was that insight he provided that was pretty interesting.
Yeah, I think there will be one more book. I think Warbreaker has some annotations that I'll get into. But so at some point after that is when he was just like, I don't have time to do annotations, like detailed annotations, and also write new books.
Yeah, which is fair.
All right, here, let's do the next one is, the quotes is, one can cut the body and it will heal, but do it over and over again in the same spot and you will scar.
Man. Okay. First gut reaction for this one was this from Emperor's Soul? But but my gut let me down last time. And damn you, gut.
Well, I guess if it was, who would be the person saying it? Maybe you can nail it down or get away from it that way.
Yeah, maybe. I'm just trying to think of the characters. And honestly, aside from Shy, most of their names are escaping me at this point. But I'm also just like, because the reason I think I went to Emperor's Soul was because, like, talking of stamps and over stamping. But I was like, now the more I think about it, it's like, that doesn't sound right.
Okay.
No, let's go with, is this an Inquisitor thing? Like spiking, cutting the soul? God. Oh, no, I've got nothing for this. Sorry, read it off me again.
Okay, it is, one can cut the body and it will heal, but do it over and over again in the same spot and you will scar.
Is this Shadows of Self talking about Wax because he's lost Lessie again? Are we repeating characters through this, or?
It's possible. I say that because I don't actually remember if I did or not.
Okay. Yeah, look, I've got nothing better. Let's go Shadows of Self and let's say Marasai again.
Oh, they're gonna be so mad.
Okay, you should have gone with your gut. It was Emperor's Soul.
Fuck!
And it was Gautona.
Gautona, that was his name.
Yeah, as she's testing stamps on him, and he's like, I mean, they're not sticking, but, you know, is it gonna mark me or do something to me when you're testing these over and over?
Oh, piss. Should have gone with the gut. Oh, well. Oh, that was a good one.
Yeah, no, I like Gautona. It's interesting finding a good quote from that one because there's lots of sassy things that get said, but also Shy spends a lot of the book or a lot of the story alone in her room, and so there's not that much of her talking to other people.
Yeah, and that's honestly, that was also a story where it's like, yeah, the sassy lines were fun and all, but the really interesting stuff about that one was the introspective or really insightful things they said. That was the stuff that was most fascinating in that story. So
Yeah,
like those are the good quotes.
For me, it's especially like the ending of that story when he's reading her book and he's just like has kind of a revelation about what constitutes art and stuff. Like that was really interesting stuff to me.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Here's the quote. You should try not to talk so much, friend. You'll sound far less stupid that way.
Now that sounds like a Kelsier line. So I'm gonna go Final Empire, Kelsier.
From the hip.
You got half credit on that one. It was the Final Empire, and that was Breeze.
That was Breeze?
Yeah. In their very early meeting, when they're sitting around planning. And somebody brings up a Mistborn, and Yedden says, like, I don't even think that those are real.
Oh, Yedden.
And Breeze is like, you should shut up.
Okay. Yep. No. All right. I'll cop that one.
Or what is it? What exactly did Yedden say? He's like, I've certainly never met one, or something like that. And it's like, you poor stupid man.
Yeah. Oh, man, Yedden, you were just an idiot.
Yeah, and then he died horribly.
Why do we give you control of the army?
That's a really good question. Yeah.
Because what was it? He was in charge of the resistance after Marsh stepped away. Was that right?
Yes.
So that's just very much and you see it sometimes in fiction. It definitely happens in like the 5th book of Song of Ice and Fire with one of the mercenary companies, like an old mercenary who's been kicked out, comes back to the company, sees who they put in charge, and gone, how the fuck did you decide this guy out of everyone here? This guy is the one you picked. What was the thought process there? And it's like, well, that's very much the Yedden thing. Like you had no one better?
Yeah. It really seems like there should be someone better, right? Maybe just like no one wanted this job at all. Like,
yeah.
You get killed doing this job.
I mean, that's not even accurate. The last guy who had the job like stepped down because he didn't die.
That's true. That's a good point, yeah.
Like the reason it needs to be filled is because the previous guy did not in fact die, but actually just needed some time.
He's like, I give up. This is never going to work. We're never going to be free of the Lord Ruler.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's this one I think should be pretty easy. The quote is, invite Douglas Venture. He's kind of a friend, but he can't hold his liquor. You can count on him making a disturbance at the after party.
Okay. Is that a Steris thing from Shadows of Self?
Woo, close one.
It is from Shadows of Self, but it's Wax.
It's Wax, isn't it? Damn it. It's like
in response to Steris asking him who to invite to the wedding.
Okay, yeah, I'm just like, it's got to be either Steris or Wax because they're talking about it's a venture, but it's not one of the main characters, so it's clearly not from Hero of Ages. But I was like, oh, they're talking about high society. It could be either Wax or Steris, so I'm just gonna roll the dice on that one.
Okay.
All right.
You got 50% credit. It's not bad.
Yep.
Here is a great quote. I love this one. The quote is, "Now that is a fork."
Oh, that's Gemmel from not Secret History, the 11th Metal.
Now you're just showing off.
That is Gemmel from the 11th Metal, yes sir.
That was him and his fucking dingle hopper.
It's such a great moment. It's so ridiculous. I love it.
That was like the closing beat of the story, wasn't it?
Yes, that was the very end of the story, which I'd kind of forgotten the 11th Metal existed as I was looking through stuff, and then I was like, oh, right, that's a thing, and it immediately jumped in my head, like, that's got to be the quote. Like, I gotta grab that one.
No, I remember that one distinctly, actually mainly because of the song we used for that episode, because that is such a great song. And like,
it's the Song of Ice and Fire song.
Yeah, it's the Jaymee and Cersei Lannister one, and like, because I've got the playlist of all our theme songs just for funsies, and there was one time I was listening to it in the car, and Jamie's sitting next to me, and that song came on. She's gone, "What the fuck was this? What do we do this for?" I'm like, do you remember that story after the first book? No, one with Gemmel. Who? Yeah, you know the crazy guy who led Kelsey around, and then he found the fork. Oh, that guy.
Fork guy, sure.
Yeah. Man, that's a great song. I'd say that's probably the second best song we have used.
What's the best one then?
Through Life and Loss.
That is, yeah,
But
okay.
For Alloy of Law, that song, as the young people say, is a banger. Do the young people still say that? I don't know.
Probably. Yeah, no, I'm old now. What are you gonna do?
Yeah. There was one point last year when we were in rehearsals for School of Rock, and like we're all of us just sitting around, kids and adults alike, just like chatting. And then I can't remember what it was I was asking about, but there was some slang term from like, and I've looked at like two of the kids, like like 11 and 12, and just gone, hey, do young people still say whatever it was? Instantly, one of them said yes, and the other one said no. I'm like, well, this does not help.
That has been the exact experience I've had with the older children are 11 and 12 now, I believe. And I'll say something, and one of them's just like, nobody says that anymore, Dad. And the other was like, yeah, people say that all the time.
Yep. It's like, not even young people know what young people say anymore.
Yeah, they're all nuts. What are you gonna do? What is my favorite? My Revolution is probably up there. The very first one we used. Yeah. Upside Down has always been one of my favorites, which is funny because like that's the Stranger Things song that he did, and I don't even like Stranger Things particularly, but I like that song.
Fair enough. I mean, Redemption Blues is always great. Take It Back is good.
Take It Back, yes, that's another one that's at the top of my. I've got a playlist for the songs that we've used, and I need to add Redemption Blues. I haven't done that.
Okay.
Do that later. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And yeah. I know they were just one shots, but Nord Mead and Back to the Start are both excellent as well.
Oh, I haven't put Back to the Start on here either. I need to do. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna have to go through the list now and make sure that I have them all.
I was actually just looking at my list like this morning, and I'm just like, Back to the Start. When did we use that one? Oh, yeah, it took me a minute.
That one where the guy goes back to the start or whatever. It's a really weird one though. So. And
it's like that, and that's such a really happy, upbeat song. I'm just like, the lyrics fit, but the tone of the song is very different.
It's true. Okay, here the next one is Stop Moping. It doesn't suit you. It takes a fine sense of pessimism to brood with any sort of respectability.
Okay, initial gut feeling, that's a Breeze quote from Hero of Ages, but could also be a Kelsier quote from Secret History. We've already done Breeze. Let's go with Kelsier Secret History.
Hooray!
Okay, I'm gonna give you that is wrong. I'm gonna give you a second chance though, because I cheated you on this one a little bit. I pulled out one word that I thought made it too easy, and so I'm gonna put the word back in the quote and see. So what it actually says is, "Stop moping, Sule. It doesn't suit you. It takes a fine sense of pessimism to brood with any sort of respectability."
Oh well, that is Galadon from Elantris then.
I'd rather be lucky than good.
That is exactly who it is. Yeah, you can see why I was like that. That word kind of gives it.
Instantly, that just like, yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna give you points for that because when you read the actual quote, you got it.
Galadon. Why didn't Kelsier recruit you?
Right? Yeah, I want to see him hanging around.
Yeah. It's entirely possible that he has.
That's true. We don't know yet. We could meet some other dudes by the end of the book, although we've already met two people from the planet where Elantris takes place in Kelsier's crew. I feel like having more of those would be weird.
Yeah, but I guess we sort of hang out for that because aside from Six of the Dusk, like there is no other planet we've seen. We've seen Cell and we've seen Scadrial. That's it.
Yeah, that's true.
So I guess we're more attuned to if Kelsier brings in Elantrians, or people from Cell because we've seen that place before. Whereas, he brings in someone from what was it called? Threnody, I think was.
Threnody is a planet, yeah.
I remember that one because the people Kelsier bumped into in Secret History, the Elantrian people, were bitching about Threnody in that.
Yep.
And I know we've brought up Roshar a couple of times. That's Stormlight?
That is Stormlight, yep.
Are we allowed to know what planet Warbreaker's on? Which is what it's called.
The planet the Warbreaker's on, the name of the planet isn't actually in the book, so I was going to have to tell you guys anyway.
Oh, okay.
But it is called Nalthis.
That sounds familiar. Have we come across that before?
I believe it has been mentioned, and I think it was like an in-passing thing where it's like...
I'm sure it was.
I've only gotten, I guess, technically 3, because, what's the planet in Six of the Dusk is called, like, First of the Sun, or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
All right, the next one. We're running low on quotes here. Let's see.
Well, I mean, the only novel we've got left now is Hero of Ages. We've done all the other novels we've done, but just going off my list here. But we've still got short stories.
Okay, so this quote is, "Did I leave? I am the lingering odor you can never quite locate, my friend. Just when you think I've faded, you open your cupboard and find, in an overpowering reveal, that I've merely been ripening.
Wow, okay. That could be Kelsier in Secret History, I guess. Yeah, so all we've got left are Hero of Ages, Secret History, Hope of Elantris, and Sixth of the Dusk. Gonna go out on a limb and assume that wasn't in Sixth of the Dusk. Just very strong gut feeling about that one. I don't think that's a Hope of Elantris quote because that was fairly desperate. So it's got to be Hero of Ages or Secret History. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Kelsier Secret History.
Rejection.
It is, in fact, from the very short thing that we did as a play, sort of where everybody read a part on the show, called The Traveler.
Oh, I forgot that was. Oh, I didn't put that on my list. Damn.
And it was the quote is from The Traveler / Hoyd.
Yeah. Okay. Bollocks. That wasn't on my list.
Ha. I thought, I was like, I bet this won't make his list because you don't even have a book on your shelf that has that in it.
No, you. All right, yep, you got me good on that one. In honor of Joe, well played, Clerks.
Okay, 2 more. Let's see. I'll leave the easier one for last. Okay. This one is, how much of what you've done was about love, and how much was about proving something?
That's got to be Scadrial. It's not the other two. But is someone saying that to Vin, or is someone saying that to Kelsier, or is someone saying that to Elend? I feel like that is being said to Elend.
Okay.
By Yeoman? Yeah, let's go with Yeoman, Hero of Ages.
Bangarang!
It is, in fact, Vin talking to Kelsier at the end of Secret History.
Bollock! Piss. All right.
When she reappears for that one moment and gets to say goodbye.
Right after Ruin got punched.
Yep.
Oh well. I tried.
Okay, last one. I bet I can almost guarantee you'll get at least half of this one. But here we go. The quote is, "He's a paraplegic. What's he gonna do? Bite us?"
Okay. That is definitely being said about Set. That is definitely Hero of Ages. But who said it? Oh, was that? No, I think I remember we talked about this because some people, I think you said there was some reaction like that was a surprisingly dickish line from Ham, where Ham's not normally that much of a dick. I vaguely remember that. Was it Ham?
If it's stupid but it works, it ain't stupid.
So it is a conversation with Ham, but it is in fact, Ham says Set's going to be furious. And then it says, Ellen shrugged. He's a paraplegic. What's he going to do? Bite us?
Oh, Ellen said it? Oh.
I know, right? Once again, it is kind of unusually dickish for Ellen to say.
Yeah, for both of them, that's just, hilarious line, just dickish from either of them. I could see Bree saying that quite easily. I could see Kelsier saying that. Catch Doxson on a bad day, he'd probably do it, except he was dead by then. Still pissed about that, by the way.
I feel like he wouldn't have liked Set very much once Set kind of joined the crew at the end of the second book. So I could totally see.
Doxson would have hated Set.
The two of them would have been at odds for sure.
Yep. But yeah, okay. So we must have had the conversation about how that was a dickish line, but I just misremembered who the culprit was. Okay.
Okay, that's it. That was 26 potential points, and you got, let's count, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 out of 26.
Okay. I beat halfway.
Yeah, more than half, so
Yeah, you know what? More than 50%, that's a pass.
So I want to do this. The way they did it on that other podcast was actually they had some, a listener who was very involved in the Discord and stuff come in and actually come up with the quotes, and that way even the host could participate. Okay. They had a whole, I think they wrote down their answers because they were all on camera and then revealed them, which we wouldn't do, but we could totally.
That's not happening.
The same person actually who did it for them is a user in our Discord as well.
Really?
So we could totally get the exact same person to come in if we wanted and do a thing for us. I don't know that we will. But because that really feels like copying another show hard, which I feel
100% bad about. Is just copying. It's yeah. I mean, and to be fair, the only reason we're doing this at the moment now is because we wanted to get something out to you listeners so that you wouldn't have to go another week without getting something. But
something fun. I've been working on taking some of these ideas that I've seen on other shows and putting our own spin on them, and so that's one of the reasons that we hadn't looked at doing this at a previous time is because I haven't come up with a good Sanderlanche spin to put on it yet. And so we may come back to it when everybody can be involved and when I come up with a good twist, a good little something to put with it. But
you actually no, the Sanderlanche twist you put on this, it's like you're just reading them out, and we have to sort of guess them. But like as the episode goes on, you read them out quicker and quicker and quicker, so we got less time to figure it out before you read the next one.
That would be okay. Yeah, that would be very Sanderlanche-y. You're not wrong.
Specifically, a Sanderlanche twist to put on it.
But yes, so I hope everyone enjoyed that. We didn't want to have another week where we did absolutely nothing for you guys. So,
but yeah, the illness has just been chaotic lately.
Yeah, apparently. Like I was sick for like almost 2 weeks last month, where it was bad, and then now we got 2 people popping up sick on the same day. It's just crazy.
Yeah, so we'll figure it out. Maybe we need to like have some of these backup episodes prepped or something,
right?
Just so we've got something in the bank in case this happens.
Yeah, and I'm gonna be gone for one of our record times next month, but we're planning on trying to have
something in the bank for that.
Yeah, one ahead of time, so that I'm taking a trip to France for a week, and so it turns out that trying to work out a time between 3 different continents was not going to be easy to do.
Yeah. No.
So yeah, fun times.
That's just let's just not even. Yeah.
But thanks everyone. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have ideas for crazy fun game type things that you'd like to see us do, feel free to email those to us that we can use on off days or something weird happens. The address is thesanderlanche@gmail.com. That is with a the, no space, e at the end of Sanderlanche @gmail.com. You can find us on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram. Patreon, I've just today edited several more episodes to go up on the Patreon. I put up that the video of me unboxing the first of the Year of Sanderson boxes this last week. So you can, if you're a patron and you haven't seen that, you can go check that out and see what I did, what I got out of the Hoyd box. And I'm hoping that my Tress box will show up. We were just talking about earlier that somebody we know got their physical copy, and I'm jealous. I want my physical copy.
Someone in Australia, let's clarify. These aren't people in America where it's easier to ship because that's where they're shipping from. No, this is a mate of ours in Sydney.
Yeah, so I am jealous. I want my book. And so when that next box comes in, I will do another video that I can put up on the Patreon and show that. So check that out if you're interested. Next time we will hopefully actually be getting into the chapters. We read chapters
50 to 57, I believe.
50 to 57, where I think the identity of Moonlight, just as a teaser, finally I think we can be certain on who it is here.
Yeah, didn't want to bring it up in this episode, but fairly certain now if we weren't already.
So just a little tease for you guys for the kind of stuff we'll be talking about on the next episode. So come back next week where we will hopefully get into those next chapters and keep moving towards the end of The Lost Metal, after which we will be dipping into White Sand, the comic book. So if you guys haven't read that, you can get the digital comic online, or you can, if you want, sign up for Brandon's newsletter and get the prose version for free. And the story is pretty much exactly the same. So you'll be able to follow along with what we're talking about fairly well if you read the prose version.
I was actually just, when I was flipping through Arcanum Unbounded to the contents, so I could write down the short stories that we read there, I noticed White Sand appears to be in there.
Yes, there is a preview of White Sand, the comic, in Arcanum Unbounded. There's also an essay about the system. It's the Taldane system. But if you actually flipped that, you can see like the first several pages of the comic, which
oh, interesting.
I don't know what it looks like in your version. In my digital version, like it's kind of pasted in there a little unusually, honestly, but I don't know what it looks like in published. And obviously, yes, you don't want to start reading that yet.
Yeah, I'm not going to look at it now.
But yeah, so there is a little excerpt in there. So if anyone has Arcanum Unbounded and hasn't checked that out, you can see kind of what the comic is like. But actually, and this is what's in here is actually the first pages of the original comic, whereas in the omnibus version that we're going to be reading, they've actually added kind of a prologue to this. So anyway.
Oh, you know what? I'm actually looking at like the comic book now, and it does have page numbers. I thought it didn't. That's going to make it much easier to deal with.
Oh, yeah. Although I think we're probably going to read by chapters, so it still shouldn't be a big problem because it'll have the chapters pretty clearly demarcated.
Yeah, well, it's got a contents page, so that'll be quite easy.
Contents table, contents page definitely helps. So yeah, those for next time. Music by Miracle of Sound, whatever song. I think Dac and I came up with a good idea of a fun song to do on this one, but we'll see what happens with that. And thanks everyone. Like I said, hope you enjoyed it. Sorry that we couldn't get everyone together for a normal episode this week, but hopefully you enjoyed what we've put together for you. And wasing to the time of next. Colo?
Game over.
Now it's hard to think of offices and motorways and bills when I'm tunneling through oceans, beaches, and cascading hills. These creepers make me run away, these spiders give me chills, but I feel good 'cause I've been mining all day long.
Stay tuned for more Tales of Interest.
Nice.